Are you the parent or caregiver of a child who's around 5 or 5.5 years old? Maybe they're about to start kindergarten or they've just started kindergarten, and you're wondering what language milestones they should have to help them succeed in the classroom and with their learning development. Well, at the age of around 5, normally a child should be able to hold a basic conversation for 3 to up to 5 minutes with another adult or with a peer. And this might seem like a basic milestone, but what this really looks at is how a child is able to take turns with another child, whether they're able to maintain a topic for a given amount of time, whether they're able to listen to what the other person says and pick up on details of what the other person says, whether they're able to speak in complete sentences, and whether they're able to retell simple experiences. So all of these are really crucial for not just succeeding with communicating, but also with succeeding in the classroom. And if you want to help your child with this skill, you might be facing some resistance. So oftentimes a complaint that I hear is a parent will try to engage in a longer conversation with a kindergartner, but they'll probably just get phrases as their answers. Maybe they just get a few sentences and they can't keep the conversation going. So if you're looking to help your child and maybe you're encountering some of those problems, or you're seeing some of the keys needed for conversation aren't there, then you've come to the right place. Hi, my name is Amini. I'm a speech and language pathologist with several years of experience working with children and parents to maximize speech and language development. I have a private practice, Smarter Speech, in the Bay Area, California, where I do the same. And my mission with this channel is to empower parents and caregivers, especially those with children around the age of 5 or younger, because this is when a child's brain is developing so rapidly. And just little changes in the way you talk and play can have huge implications for language development down the line, and also for learning down the line as well. So if a few tips can change that, then why not? Going back to our question, how to help your kindergartner have more conversation. The first rule that I have is to make sure that you're engaging in conversation in a stress-free environment. If there's one rule that I've seen as a speech therapist in all these years, it's that the more pressure a child has, the less likely they are to talk or open up. So when you're trying to get a child to talk more, the last thing you want is to be asking a series of questions or asking them why they aren't replying, or to put them in this situation where you're saying things like, I need a sentence or talk to me more. All of that will actually get your child to open up less. So my trick to kind of making a stress-free environment is to try to engage in conversation over art. So whether you're doing a craft, whether you're just coloring, or maybe you're cutting and gluing something, any sort of a craft really takes your child's attention away from the fact that they're supposed to speak, because your child is likely focused on what it is that they are making. So you can always do the craft or the coloring with your child. So maybe you're coloring on a sheet of paper, and after you've gotten a nice rhythm going, set the timer for maybe 10 or 15 minutes. Then you can ask your child, oh, so how was school today? Did you guys do anything fun at recess? Or maybe what did you eat for lunch? So this is really the time to ask those questions about the day or what a child has done. Again, your focus isn't staring at the child, it's on your paper. Your child will likely feel less pressure as well. And you've got this nice window of around 15 minutes to really engage in those back and forth turns and in that conversation. So that's a really good way to have more conversation, is just that coloring and crafting time. Even if you're just getting phrases in the beginning or not much answers, if you're really consistent with this tip, as the days and the weeks go by, it's more likely that your child will start talking to you. And you're going to learn a lot of new information, and you'll be able to engage with the new information you hear. So first tip, arts and crafts to bring the pressure down and to maybe talk about the day. My second tip to get your kindergartner to talk more is to do it over a board game. So what I mean by this is, say you guys are playing a game, and every turn that you have, so in this particular ring toss game, every ring that you're going to toss at the target, you can ask your child one question, and you can wait for your child to ask you a question back. So I love doing board games with favorites, just because favorites are something everybody likes talking about, and they make for good back and forth turns. So let me give you an example. Say you're tossing this green ring onto the target. You can say something like, all right, to get this green ring, can you tell me what your favorite color is? Your child might tell you their favorite color. And then you can say, okay, to get the green ring, can you ask me what my favorite color is? And then your child might answer that as well. So you got your back and forth turn, and then your child can earn the ring. You can do the same thing for each of the rings that your child has to earn. Maybe you'll talk about favorite color here, favorite superhero here, favorite cookie here, favorite holiday here, favorite princess here, whatever it is you can think of. But by the end of the game, or the 10 or 15 minutes that you've set aside for the game, you'll have discussed a lot of favorites. And as you play the game over and over again, or introduce different games, your child is going to become more and more comfortable talking about favorites, and also, most importantly, asking questions back and wanting to learn about others' preferences and likes and dislikes as well, which is very important for conversations. So that's my second tip. Talk about favorites with games. My last tip is to follow your child's interest, meaning you can talk about things like your favorite TV show, or your child's favorite TV show, or your child's favorite cartoon while watching the cartoon or the show or the movie together. So what I suggest is during a commercial break or during the ads, you can always pause, and then you can ask questions about what you just watched. The questions shouldn't be comprehension questions at this point. They should be kind of playing dumb. So for example, you could ask your child, wait, how did that happen? How did he find the sword? You might very well know how he found the sword, but you're going to play dumb. And when you play dumb, your child will have to explain to you how. The bonus here is a how question is a really good higher language question. So you're actually working on language and cognitive development while you're asking this how question. You can also ask why questions, like, wait, why did he beat the bad guy? Even though you know the answer, your child will explain it to you, and they're more likely to explain it to you because they like whatever it is that they're watching. The last kind of question that you can ask is a predicting question. So like, what do you think is going to happen next? This is another great higher level language question, and you probably will get some really interesting answers. So these three questions, how, why, and predicting what's going to happen next, will really help enhance the conversation of whatever it is that you're watching together. So those are our three tips. The first one, engage in conversation about a day or a routine during low stress activities like arts and crafts. Second, talk about favorites with board games. And third, discuss how, why, and prediction questions with watching something together, preferably something your child likes and is really motivated by. So if you're still having problems after you've tried some of these tips, I really recommend talking to a professional to get a second opinion. That can be as simple as just speaking with your child's kindergarten teacher, or maybe you want to talk to a speech therapist and you want to book an evaluation, or maybe you just want to mention your concerns to a pediatrician. Either way, you should definitely seek for help if you're worried. Earlier is always better, because right now your child's brain is developing again so rapidly. So if you are worried, this YouTube video is just a starting point, but you do want to seek out more help if that's something that you're interested in. There's also some other resources in the description box below. I have a link to our mailing list where you'll get a free monthly tip on speech and language development. There's also a link to our ebook on kindergarten language development, our parent education course on the same. And finally, there's a link to some of the materials that I used in this video. I hope that this helped you. If it did, please subscribe to receive more tips, and happy talking.